6 strange cases of stolen skeletons. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Beyond Crazy. 6. Polar bear skeleton sculpture. Some artists try to buy rare skeletons for their work, while others, like British sculptor Mark Correth, replicate them. Correth created several bronze sculptures of life-size polar bear skeletons. As part of a World Wildlife Fund campaign to draw attention to the dangers of melting ice caps, polar bears were carved from ice around the bronze skeletons and left to melt in prominent public spaces in London, Manchester, Copenhagen, and several Canadian cities. One of the remaining bronze skeletons, estimated to be worth more than £15,000, made its way to the rural English countryside from where it was stolen in 2013. According to police, it was no small operation because the size and weight of the sculpture would have required a truck with a loader crane to move. It was even secured with a metal structure. 5. Sperm whale skull. Another ambitious heist of a large object took place in Australia in 2023 when a sperm whale skull belonging to the Eden Killer Whale Museum was being stored at another property. It was there to let the oil drain from it so it could later be displayed. Undeterred by the fact the storage location was in a residential neighborhood, what was most likely a team of thieves worked quietly together to take the skull. It must have taken some organization and coordination, according to the museum's head of collections, who described the skull as bloody huge. She said she could not understand why anyone would want to steal it. The size and weight of the skull mean equipment, including a crane and a flatbed truck, would have been required to move it. At the time of writing, there have been no reports of any arrests, and the thieves might think they have committed a perfect even if bizarre crime. 4. Murder evidence. Most murderers attempt to avoid prison by hiding the bodies of their victims. Sunil Simang from South Africa initially did too. He later admitted killing his employer and burying the remains in a shallow grave. Either unable to live with what he had done or guessing he would be caught anyway, Simang handed himself in and showed police where he buried the body. This is when the case gets weird. While Simang was in custody, the skeletal remains of his victim went missing from a mortuary where they were being stored while awaiting forensic examination. After jumping to conclusions, the media reported that the bones had been stolen by thieves. The police suspected accomplices of Simang might have been involved. Though, this would be strange given that Simang had cooperated and shown them where the body was buried. 3. Ghost marriage. In China, an ancient practice that dates back thousands of years and still happens in some areas is the ghost marriage or wedding of the deceased. It stems from a belief that the death of an unmarried man brings bad luck to his family. To avoid this, the remains of an unmarried dead female are taken, the two bodies are wed and then buried side by side. Some families desire to avoid bad luck so strongly that they are willing to steal a bride for their deceased son. This was suspected to be the case in Hebei province in 2019 when the family of a dead girl became alarmed to find her skeleton missing from her grave. The 18-year-old girl died in 2001, and in 2017, the family was approached about offering their daughter as a bride for another family's deceased son. They refused because they felt uncomfortable doing so, even in exchange for money. When her skeleton went missing in 2019, police in the girl's family felt convinced her skeleton was stolen to become a ghost bride. 2. Oscar. Some people will go to striking lengths to steal strange items, like the thieves in this case. They stole a model skeleton from the second-story balcony, where it had been secured with metal chains for more than 20 years. Oscar was the mascot of the Eltham Physiotherapy and Sports Injuries Clinic and something of an icon in the small local community. His sudden absence in 2019 was almost immediately noticed by several people who expressed their shock on the clinic's Facebook page. The clinic reported on Facebook that a ladder must have been used, and the metal chains securing the skeleton had been cut in what they described as a big operation. In addition to his role as guardian of the practice, Oscar was the clinic's only form of advertising. They offered a reward for his safe return, but Oscar was never found. He was later replaced with a new mascot called Harold. 1. 12-foot skeleton. Few things are as audacious as daylight robbery, and it is even more shocking when something huge is stolen. It was no surprise headlines were made in October 2022 when a shameless woman stole a 12-foot-tall skeleton from a Texas front yard. The thief was caught on camera outside a condominium community, casually toppling and dismantling the enormous decoration before shoving it into her car and quickly making off. The skeleton was so big it could barely squeeze into her car, even when taken apart. The thief eventually succeeded, but the owner of the skeleton released the camera footage, which went viral. They also offered a $50 reward for information leading to the skeleton's safe return. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen, because I'm sure you'll love them.